back with another recording, and so for this match, it's going to be very interesting. I honestly thought I lost in the beginning, but I'm going to end up making a huge comeback. So right off the back, I'm going to go for 3 rifle squads. Engineer's going to go ahead and forward cap. So the reason why I am heading straight to this muni instead of this fuel is Brits don't really need fuel to succeed. Fuel's more of a passive income. But munis is where it's at in the beginning of the game for Brits. So I'm going to, right off the bat, get this plus 16 muni. These riflemen are going to go straight to the manpower point. These engineers, the only reason why they're going to fuel is just to have, a little bit of fuel income to start out with, but also to deny Wehrmacht the fuel, which they need a lot. Not as much as DAC, but Wehrmacht needs fuel to tech up and to give them more options in their tech up. So riflemen are capping. Second squad's about to come in. I believe I'm going to use that second squad to start this cap over here in the fuel. Also, this just gives me a heads up if my opponent is going to push or take this house. This house can mess you up if you're on this side of the map, because this little window gives you all this cone of fire. They also have the ability to rotate and shoot down here if you try to cap. So yeah, Brits are going to go ahead and cap over there. Third rifleman's going to be in the build as soon as I can get it up. There it is, boom. Brits are going to go ahead and make sandbags. I only like to do 1 sandbag because what I've noticed is players can still use the sandbag as cover if they get on the side. And I feel like 2 sandbags makes it a lot harder to mess with. There's my third. I was debating on going a 4th infantry squad. I will eventually do that because you'll see in a second my opponent is going to be doing some of the most cheesiest stuff out there. So nice and slow start to the map. I'm looking for him. I don't know where he's at. I'm a little bit nervous. And there's the Grins. I'm going to go ahead and build the sandbag just to have the cover down to have the option, even though they're taking a bit of damage, because as soon as the engineers get behind cover, they're pretty much gold. They're solid. I realize I'm going to lose this fight. He has the high ground doing a massive amount of damage, so I'm going to scoot away while still maintaining the cap. He misclicks, I believe. I'm going to go ahead and try to get that cap back. I quickly realize that he's behind here. I got to press him now. Brits over here with the high ground are going to shoot down. Engineers are holding as long as they can. Can't do any more damage, fall back. Now I'm a bit nervous. I'm debating which target to hit. I focus this because you can merge with Grins into your low health squad, so those mp40s will always be on the field. I realize, hey, I'm not going to win this fight. I'm going to pull back right away. There's nothing I can do here. So as a newer player, if you're not going to win a fight and you're looking at manpower bleed, always just fall back, because you can always get back on the map whenever you heal up and get a chance. The more manpower bleed you suffer, the worse it's going to get. So seeing my opponent spamming mp40s with doctrine, I'm going to go ahead and pump out that 4th squad. I need infantry to counter his infantry. And he has a crad capping in the background, so it is going to get a lot worse for me. That crad can really mess you up as Brits. Not only do they get the plus 35 ability to increase resources, so this plus 10 turns into a plus 13 for them. They can also harass the map very quickly. I believe they have the highest capping speed in the game. So for these guys over here, I'm going to put them in the house. They are not going to win. I'm just trying to buy time. Because with the mp40s, as much as they do great at close range, they still maintain that long range with the KR98s. It's a 3 for 3. So even though they're losing, they're buying me valuable time to flank around and shoot them in the back. My opponent is going to bug out. He sees it. He's not going to win this fight. Even if he charges me, I will win with the DPS. While this is going on, I am constantly maintaining pressure on the caps. He's going to get the fuel. I'm getting the VPs to stop that bleed, because this guy wants to bleed me out very fast, and you'll see late game how close it gets. So recce packages cap faster is what I'm noticing, so I'm going to leave them over here to cap. This squad's going to go over here and push. He has the high ground breaks. MG42 sets up. This squad's going to get suppressed. Now, yeah, and look at that. Suppressed and insta-pin, basically. With the latest update from Relic, Wehrmacht got a huge buff, and I think one of the insane things was the MG42 got buffed even more. Right now, the Co-3 MG42 is better than the Co-2 MG42. Now, for my Co-veterans, you realize, like, hey, that's insane. MG42 spam was terrible in Co-2. Well, it's back. It's back with a vengeance. So, it is worse now. What I'm seeing a lot with Wehrmacht players is they're going to make about 2 to 3 MG42s. Eventually I'll make a mortar, but right now, because his MP40s are so dominant and can bleed me, I need more infantry to fight that. If you're wondering why I haven't made a mortar to counter yet. I need more bodies on point, more DPS. I need a 2-to-1 ratio to win against a 1 MP40 squad. And unfortunately, that's the way it is right now. MP40s, in my personal opinion, are just way too cheap. Because for 50 munitions, you can dominate one squad easily. Almost 2 squads if I don't play these engagements right. So right now, Wehrmacht realizes he needs that fuel. He's going to go over there. I'm going to rotate these units to counterattack him. I'm not going to win the fight, but I need to harass and bleed him as much as possible. Immediately teching into Valor. I felt like Valor kicked in again. Just like the last video I said that people have reported it is a bugged ability. It doesn't work, but honestly, sometimes I feel like it does kick in. It does help. Okay, because of this infantry spam, I'm immediately teching into infantry training. I need it. I need to get the unit veterancy up so they can do more damage, and I need that, excuse me, the bonuses that they get from not receiving damage, excuse me. His MG42 is over there. I'm going to try to flank that. He misclicked, but watch how fast it sets up. Oof. I can't even press him, and he's about to suppress me. Look at that burst. Insta-suppress. There's nothing I can do. I have to retreat, because with that one burst of suppression, it will lead to a pin, and on the second burst, most of the time, those MP40s are going to clean me up. But at the same time, I'm going to harass his fuel. He activates sprint. He's going to close the gap. I'm not going to win the fight. I'm going to have to pull back. These guys are still buying time, keeping that fuel in check. So now I have majority fuel control. I can be a little bit more flexible. Gotta pull back. MG42 insta-suppresses again. And I gotta run over here as well. So, as you can tell, he's bleeding me a lot, so he's definitely got more infantry, more MG42s, more squads that are outperforming me, but I'm still gonna stay in the game. I'm still gonna keep pressing as much as I can. Alright, he's going to build the sandbags. So, for Wehrmacht players that say Grins are not good enough, you can build sandbags. And Grins behind sandbags perform like conscripts at Veterancy 1. And you can vet up the Grin squads for a low 125 cost and I think about 20 fuel or something like that. So, even though he has those MP40s, with 3 squads, I can press him. I have to press him. I've got to stop that decap on the munis. If I lose this muni, my life gets hard because I've got to waste time and recap. At the same time, I'm going to decap his muni. Riflemen are healing up. Tech and medics, I gotta stop the bleed. The MG42s, if they don't drop a model, they're gonna bleed you. Look at that. He's constantly harassing me with these MG42s. And that's good on him. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm not, bitching about it. I'm just saying, hey, look, this guy knows what he's doing. He is being aggressive with the MG42s. Good on him. It is, later on, you're gonna see him blob like nobody else. It's gonna be the mega-blob of all time. Just pure fucking bullshit. But this is the struggle with the Brits. People scream Brits are OP. Alright, after the latest relic patch, they are suffering because those MP40s are destroying me. And I have to constantly retreat. There's plenty of fights that I can't do. And here, again, he's being very smart. Putting up barbed wire, blocking that cover. That's what you get with Grins. MP40s, gonna close the gap. Nothing I can do. I'm about to pull back. I was just trying to decap. Realize it's not gonna work out. So he's playing them very well. And there's nothing wrong with doing that, constant support and pressure. It's just, as you can tell, the Brits cannot fight them. As soon as I get within close range, it's GG. And again, a 2-to-1 ratio. And it's going to end up forcing me to go volunteer infantry again. I wanted to avoid this commander. I can't. I get a Sturt out. Sturt, like I keep saying, is a great tank. It's a deterrent. It's not going to be amazing, but it's good enough. So, not going to win that fight. And the reason why I make the Sturt is his MGs are very vulnerable to it. It's going to bleed infantry a little bit, and I realize that he's spent so much manpower, on getting these infantry spams out that he's going to be hurt on AT for a little bit. So there's a 2-to-1 ratio. I feel confident. I've got to block the cap. MG sets up. And I realize right now, hey, I'm not going to win this. But luckily, you know, no real model bleeds. So I'm going to immediately tech mortar as soon as I can. If you're wondering why I didn't go 120, personally, I feel like with the 120, it's just too expensive. You know, 400 manpower, yeah, you get range and everything, but if the guy's smart, he's going to reposition his MGs constantly. And that's it. And the barrage cooldown, I think, is about 60 seconds. It's very long. So I'm going to go regular mortar. In a bit. There's his AT gun, so hey, this tank has got to stay out of the fight. Let's see, where to put my engineers? Engineers were up top capping. Sorry, again, I'm all over the place, so if it looks like I'm engagements on the right side, I was multitasking. So these guys are pinned, but you know what? Hey, I can still hold the cap, I can still get range, I can still get sight, and boom, there's where these nades are coming in handy. Ooh, you know, little damage, low damage roll. He was pretty much out of cover. But hey, I forced that MG back. This MG sets up. I want to flank as soon as I can, and I'm going for it, but as soon as I see him pack up, I realize that I'm going to get suppressed. Currently, I think the Co-3 MG42s have the same pack-up time as a Maxim and Co-2. So the Co-2 Maxim has a fast pickup time. MG42s, again, in my opinion, for most players, it's just very overpowered. You can pack them up instantly, reset them up in about 2 to 3 seconds, and you can constantly change those positions, you know, putting you at a disadvantage. So, forced him off the field. He is bleeding me. He's going for the gut kills. Those mp40s, again, I can't fight them. I cannot deal with them. The closer he gets, the worse it is. They come with sprint. They can also self-heal, so he can stay on the field longer than me. And this guy's doing everything right. He's constantly keeping me pressured, closing the gap, but I refuse to give up this match, so there it is. I'm not going to win. You know, I thought I could get the cap, but, you know, 2 MG42s, 2 MP40s, AT. What he's attempting to do, and he almost had me, is he's going to go for the base lock, right? So by the time I get over here, it's going to take too long. He's just trying to keep me in base to rush that Panzer IV. If you see breakthrough, understand Panzer IV, MP40s, and Tiger. If you ever see that commander. He finally messes up. I kill his Kratschützen. That's why these Brim packages are great. So finally, I kill his harassing unit. I don't have to stress anymore about him insta-capping me. Because he's not using any of his immunities to do caps with the breakthrough doctrine. He's using that Kratschützen. There's the mortar. Again, stopping this fuel, because I realize he is rushing the Panzer IV. Because he didn't go Jaeger, he went straight to the, AT gun tech. So, I don't have to worry about Jaegers or Shreks. And honestly, he should have probably won that. Jaegers or Shreks will destroy the Stort. The Stort struggles with Shreks. And the Shreks, again, super fast reload, high, at Veterancy 1, they take less damage. And there's the blob I was talking about. Look at that. Look at that. At this point, I don't know if I'm making this guy mad, but look at this shit. This is bullshit. Looking 2 MGs on top of each other, 3 squads in support. He's no longer trying. He's just trying to wipe units on retreat. That's what he was going for. He blobbed them all together to bleed me and get an insta-wipe. And if you're thinking to yourselves, well, you want cheaper infantry, why does that matter? That insta-wipe squad will destroy you. Or instantly losing a squad will destroy you over time. Because not only am I losing veterancy, I'm losing muni, which I barely have right now, but more importantly, I'm losing that manpower. Even with the cheaper squads that I'm about to go for, I can't handle it. Here's where the Stort comes into shine, though. He is so blobbed together that that one shot of the Stort, the AoE damage, is just kind of nicking these guys. So look at this. He's mad now. He's full on blobbing. You know, Hans, look at this blob. Look how overpowered we are. Don't tell the co-forms about this. But you gotta love it. Look at this. Perfect example of Axis bias. I've been retreating the entire match. I'm trying to hold it. Here's this me trying to bleed the MG, but I gotta pull back AT. Blob's still going. He's trying to gut me like a freaking fish. Panzer IV out into the field. Luckily, I pre-made AT. This is his GG push right here. He's going for the finishing blow. I've got to back the Stort up. AT's got massive range, so from here to about here, he can hit me. And now I'm playing purely defensive. Mortar's going to stay up. Mortar's going to keep kicking ass. My opponent, because he was playing so aggressive and blobbing so hard, gets hit by my base MG. Thank God for this. Barely touching him, but the base MG kicks in. Panzer IV has activated his focus fire ability. So he's looking to wipe the squad. AT kicks in. He hauls down. So the benefits of the Panzer IV right here and why you should worry about that. Haul down, you know, it takes so much less received damage. It's not even funny. So he can just sit there all day while self-repairing. I don't know why a lot of Wehrmacht players complain about the Panzer IV, but the Panzer IV is very good if you hold down and just constantly keep it repaired. Alright, I survived, barely. He's going for the bleed again. Yeah, I know if you're looking at the points, you're thinking, there's no way I'm going to survive this. I'm going to make a comeback. I do. I hold on for dear life. He tries to get more barbed wire down. He's trying to barbed wire this point off. That is sneaky. It is smart. And it will force me to run my Stort through. And he can hit me with AT guns. I bring the Stort back up. He's blobbed together. Cover is kicking in. So Stort's only really good if the units are out of cover. But I'm destroying it. I'm getting my units out of base. I gotta push this right now because if this bleed keeps going, I will lose. I'm gonna get them behind cover. I'm gonna hold. He's gonna countercharge me. I'm not gonna win this fight. I'm gonna try to soft retreat. AT's gonna move up. I've got sight on the tank. Stort's gonna move in, kick ass. I do not know why he retreated. He honestly could have won this fight, but he retreats. At the same time, I need to move these riflemen over here and stop this bleed. If I do not stop this VP bleed, victory points for you new players, it's GG. VPs win games, not attrition. And this guy was going for attrition. And by attrition, I mean he's in my base, destroying me, base wiping me, and most likely typing easy into the fucking chat. See this MG set up? I'm gonna go ahead and launch a rifle nade. It's not gonna kill it, but it is gonna deter it. There he is. He sees it. He panics. You know, good damage. Finally get a good damage roll with that nade. Alright, I'm healed up again. This is why you want to tech those medics as fast as you can, right? You know, units are healed up. They're getting veteran C. They're looking good. Also, I went Bryn this time. With one of the models, I wanted to test out the damage again. I honestly should have went Enfields, because I do feel like the Bryns are just not cutting it. Alright, move up, get sight. I'm push up this AT gun. I'm halting for right now, because as soon as I pop into the circle, he's going to hit me. I'm going to send the engineers in, though. 220 manpower, you know, not that expensive, green cover, looking good. Even if they get damaged. You got to keep these engineers alive, though. The more veterancy they get, the faster they repair. And they're just so good. Brit engineers repair tanks so fast. Here comes the blob. Another GG push. Finally got a Crusader out. I almost forgot. I was teching up Crusaders at the same time. If you're thinking, well, why didn't I go infield? I needed the tanks out right away. There's no way I could have saved up for the infield, the manpower, all that good stuff. I needed something fast, flexible, mobile, because he's going to make a Tiger soon. And look at that infield, look at that Crusader taking shots, just bleeding him the entire time. It is hurting him. I marked target the Panzer IV, and look at that. Just pure DPS, pure damage. That's why you make the Stort, because that marked target on that Panzer IV reduces it to ash. And you saw how fast this 60 tank killed it. Now, I'm going to mess up. I get greedy. I wanted to kill these MGs. He made us an additional AT because he's floating so much manpower. This was his GG push. He failed, though. And he failed so hard that it's going to cost him these MGs in a second. So, he's still pushing. At the same time, I'm backcapping with these riflemen. He's committed over there. I'm stopping the bleed. Saving the game. Okay, packs are scooting in. Another, you know, he's really trying to end this game. I'm going to go ahead and smoke, but he scooted up. So I have to run the mortar back. Luckily, it's veterancy 1 with its ability. It gets accurate with its barrage with each shot, so it's great. MGs haven't set up. They've messed up. I'm focusing fire. I'm burning this down. I'm going to wipe this. Rifle nade on it. Got to guarantee the kill. Got it. Riflemen are going to flank around the back. Got to, you know, stop the VP bleed. On top of that, I got to steal this pack and MG. If I don't steal it, it's GG. He panics. He's going to run it back. His engineers are going to try to steal it. Can't get the MG42. And this is free reign for me. I say screw the cap. because I've got the 2 top VPs over here. I'm stopping the bleed. I need these crew weapons because this Tiger is coming. And on top of that, I need this MG42 because he is blobbing so hard. And what I'm going to do with this MG42 is I'm going to take it, I'm going to run it back to base, and I'm going to immediately leave it here. This will cover from here to here with its cone of fire. And it guarantees me safety. You know, I stopped his VP bleed, so now I don't have to stress about this point as much. With the additional AT gun, you know, I've got more anti-tank, I've got more flexibility. Even if he makes another Panzer IV, like I was thinking originally, you know, I'm not stressing anymore, especially with the marked target on the Stuart. But he's going to go Tiger. Because he was floating so much manpower, just doing so well with his build. Mortars barraging, riflemen are staying off point, can't get too close. There's the pack and support. We'll back out. Engineers are going to go ahead and scoot in. They can handle this fight a lot better. Mortar, again, coming in clutch. Big damage roll. Now he's moving to nade me. Gonna easily dodge. Engineer's still kicking ass, taking names. I'm trying to kill this MG. I see it setting up. Try to get a rifle nade. It's not going to work. Boom, instant suppression. These guys are chilling out. I was more focused on here. Finally get him in action. At the same time, he was trying to he did recap the VP. Chased the squad away. Crusaders coming in clutch, right? That cannon upgrade for 60 munis is going to wipe squads. I highly recommend it. Don't get a Crusader with a stock cannon. Always save the munis to upgrade. Because not only are you pinning tanks, you're going to kill infantry. Rifle nade. Another deterrent. You know, even if he suppresses me, I've heard it enough. Crusader's going to back in there. I mapped the hotkey to mouse 4 for the reverse. It feels way natural. It's going to help you out a lot. I highly recommend that you remap some of these keys. Because not only is mouse 4, it's this side clicker on my mouse on the left-hand side. It makes it so much easier to reverse with the shitty pathing in this game. The mouse 5 key, the upper clicker, can help you attack ground, just saving you a lot of valuable time. So he's trying to get the smoke nade, and he does. Loses the unit for it. It's white phosphorus, so not only is he smoking the point, MG can't shoot, he is going to hop on and cap, or flank me. Alright, got a nice little spot set up. AT guns are going to go ahead and reverse. Don't lose the AT guns, you need them. If he picks them up, it's GG for me. My tank army is gone. So we're finally stabilizing now. His very poor choices in micro, because he is just constantly trying to brick hammer me. You know, he's trying to, I'm a glass window and he's a fucking brick. He is trying to brick me down. It's costing him. It's starting to get expensive. Panzer IV gone, AT gone, MG gone. He's either got to rebuild or go Tiger. And with the lapse in time from his last tank unit, he's absolutely going Tiger in my mind by now. So my counter to that, and what I recommend you guys do, if you know he's going to go Tiger, make 2 more Crusaders with the Stuart and support. And if you're thinking to yourselves, well, why not go Lee when you have a better chance? Because I have the Stuart, I can mark target. That Tiger's armor will become paper thin. You can frontally pin a Tiger. And even if you don't get the frontal pin, you can take those very flexible, very fast Crusaders and flank around. And even if you lose 1 Crusader or 2 Crusaders for a Tiger, it's not hurting you whatsoever. Because they're cheap. So, this is what you got to do as Brits. You're surviving to the late game. You're trying to hold on. And that's the benefit of it. So, I would love somebody to say Brits OP into the chat after holding at a 44 VP and surviving blobs. MG's coming back to harass me. You know, good on him. Very flexible with his MGs. There's the Tiger. I'm going to lose this unit. I told them to retreat. For some reason, they ran into the house. I'm going to lose it. But it's given me a valuable piece of information. It told me, hey, there's a Tiger on the field. He only has 1 AT gun, and he is low on infantry. Because it's a coordinated push. He's moving to get me off the point. There's the white. But at the same time, that gave me information to build another Crusader. I'm going to get the tank rush together. You know, flanking mine down, I thought he was going to come over here and press me. Go ahead and get a mine down. Cover that flank. Because even if he goes through here and your AT guns are flanked, he's going to hit it, engine crit. So, with the mine down, I'm going to go ahead and repair. I've got to get these tanks full up. I've got to end this game now. Infantry is going to go over here. I'm going to block this cap. Because this MG and the AT combo, I feel comfortable. Look at that. Look how wide that arc is. with the MG42. It is I personally feel like it's unfair because with the American 30 cal, you're only getting about this much cone. Man, MG42, you're covered from here all the way to here. That is unfair with the insta suppression. But LA's OP. Alright, I put up a flare. I'm seeing what his army's doing. AT gun's out of position. There could be a mine here. I say fuck it though. I've got to end this game. Because the longer that Tiger stays on the field, it's going to get veterancy. It's going to wreck. Stuart's going to go in first so we can pop that mark target. Mark target's activated. And this is where it comes in. I keep pushing. Do not stop with the mark target. Keep going. It's easier to hit, and this AT gun can't set up and support. Tiger shows me that fat ass. Hans 9, our cheeks are too juicy. Fucking boom. I'm still going to keep going. I've got this in support. Stuart's going to keep pecking at him, and this is why mark target is great. Look how quick that Tiger goes down. And minimal damage to my tanks. Enemy opponent instantly drops. So, I'm gonna say it like this. Fuck this guy for blobbing. This is exactly what I mean by Wehrmacht can be very overpowered at times. Now, somebody can say, you could have made you could have made a Vickers. The Vickers is not going to do shit against this blob, and I'll tell you why. The Vickers machine gun takes a good while to suppress. If it's yellow cover, like this little dirt patch, and the enemy's running through it, the Vickers is not going to get that suppression off. I've seen units run through it. The what's it called? The Grenadiers, since I can't see them anywhere. The Grenadiers can have a sprint ability, so if that Vickers is about to hit you, you can run through on the sidelines and flank around it, and you're not going to have a chance. So that's another thing too, and that is why I think Brits struggle. Sorry, I'm losing my train of thought. Because he had nothing but advantage, and he was doing very well, but because he got so greedy and went for so many gut punches, I was able to steal his stuff. And look how quickly I turn this game around after I get his packs in MG42. Look how quickly I can, make a comeback in this fight when I get my hands on German equipment. And before this guy dropped, what I was going to do, I was going to immediately take these tanks, kill this AT gun, and then focus this MG42, and it would have been GG either way. But yeah, personally, in my opinion, again, MG42s are very overbuffed. You see exactly why he can get away with this. The only thing I could do is make one mortar to his MG42 spam. I couldn't afford to make any other mortars because his units, again, are going to run up on me, and I'm not going to make a Vickers because his double MG42s would most likely get in range of my Vickers, suppress them, and that's GG. But yeah, this is what I'm talking about right here. It is insane with the current meta in Code 2. Do I think the patch in some areas was good? Absolutely, but with these MG42 buffs and the insta suppression and just how good they are, it's very ridiculous. And sorry, for me to come out on top, I had to literally weather the storm, barely making it. But it was a good game either way. But that guy, this motherfucker right here, that blob is insane. So for you new players that see these kind of matches, don't insta drop. Keep playing it out. It's not always going to be a loss, and it is much more sweeter knowing that you stuck it out and survived, and you came out on top, knowing that is pure bullshit. All right, GG guys.